The little tiny crossover market has been red hot, basically leading a resurgent U.S. auto sales space. You don't want to be missing from that card table. Let's see how good Chevy's hand is as we drive the new 2015 Chevy Trax and check the tech. Now, the Chevy Trax is Chevy's newest in their crossover and SUV portfolio. It's also, as you can see, their smallest. I think it's got really nice clean lines for the first 3/4 or so, and then it gets these chipmunk cheek rear haunches in the quarter panels that don't work for me. It's a 4-seat vehicle, really. Maybe put a little kid in the middle in the back, but when you fold down the back, it's surprisingly commodious for carrying cargo. It goes up against Nissan Juke, Fiat 500L, and Jeep Renegade. Now, the cabin on the Trax, as you can imagine, is pretty basic and Spartan, but I gotta say they've got a modern, interesting layout here. Starting at the instrument panel, you have this sort of motorcycle-inspired layout that Chevy's been doing in their very small cars in the last couple of years. Come over here to the head unit, and here's the star of the show. Most of what you see here is standard, like OnStar 4G hotspot in the car. The 7-inch touch LCD with what I think is one of the better looking and fairly logical interfaces out there. In general, this head unit has great meta tag display for whatever source you're playing, but it is irritating how any adjustment of the volume clobbers anything else on the screen. There is no volume knob anywhere. Everything is an up and down tap, either here on the bezel or over here on the wheel. Eventually that just drives me nuts. I want a knob for volume. Climate controls are simple. There's no automatic temp control on this car. Just turn it back and forth from blue to red, the way you used to do. Let me show you some of the features now on this head unit. AM and FM radio, no HD radio, interestingly enough. Satellite radio is optional on higher trim levels. That's not always included. Picture in movie seems silly to me. It's like, what? I don't need to do either of those that high on the menu. Your phone menu, of course, brings you hands-free calling and Bluetooth streaming on the media side. Those are your apps: Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Bringo's your navigation. This car may have the record for the cheapest optional nav. All you need is to pair your smartphone, spend 99 cents for that app, and you've got in-car navigation on the dash. 2 glove boxes. The one on the top has USB and auxiliary. Backup camera is also standard on all Trax. There are cars that cost 3 times this much that don't do that. You've also got anti-lock brake standard, a very good StabiliTrak stability system standard, and by the way, this guy is an IIHS safety top pick on crash ratings. Drive controls are simple. You've got a true conventional automatic. To get into your shifting mode, you come back here to M for manual, and then you've got this fussy toggle here on the shift lever. The combination of that and no presence of paddles means this is not set up as a driver engagement vehicle. One more note, while head and shoulder room were real good in the Trax, legroom never felt like enough. Okay, let's talk about the Trax engine. Where'd it go? Here it is, down here. 1.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, sitting side saddle, driving the front wheels typically. All-wheel drive's optional for a very good price. We'll get to that later. You're always going to have a 6-speed automatic transmission. Not a CVT, not a DCT, just a garden variety automatic. Your horsepower is 138. You have 148 pound-feet of torque. Now, it all comes out in the wash in the MPG. 2634. Really quite good, though you get a pretty big haircut if you go all-wheel drive. So I'm a little sad to say that the Trax driving dynamics aren't. It's kind of a gutless wonder, to be honest. The engine doesn't do anything criminal, it's just not much of it for some reason. The numbers actually are okay, but I think the transmission's very much asleep at the switch, even if you manually shift it. Much more kudos to the head unit. Living with it day to day, I really do like it. It's simple, it's clean, it looks pretty good, and except for a few weird sort of organizational quirks, it's very nice for this price point. Now, we have a Trax LS, that's your base model, and that's going to come in just a tick under $21,000 delivered. $1,500 is all you pay for all-wheel drive. I'm going to leave that out for now because not everyone's going to want that. But then there's one upgrade that definitely gets you CNET style, and that goes from LS to LT. For $2,300, that gets you satellite radio, the only major media that was missing, cruise control, remote start, and some other niceties around the car. You might also consider the Sun and Sound package, $1,400 for the 7-speaker Bose rig and a power glass roof. So adding in all those toys, but leaving out all-wheel drive, we're still under $25,000 for a car that's credibly CNET style.